Hello, my name is Amari, and this is our summary and review of the movie Christmas Revisited, which is available on OWN. So, to summarize the film, Nate died around 6 or so months ago, and when it comes to his friend group from college, he was a tie that bind. So, with him gone, it's been maybe 5 or so years since the group got together, since he was the one who contacted everybody to check in on them, and as for everybody else talking to each other, it was either sporadic or just didn't happen. But it's Christmas time. Nate was a very well-off stockbroker, so he already purchased a cabin they want to go to, and that's where Joe, Cameron, Mercedes, Johnny, and Ida go for the holidays, specifically for Christmas. But as you can imagine, we've not seen each other in roughly 5 years outside of maybe Nate's funeral. Things are a bit awkward because there's a lot of unresolved issues. For example, Mercedes is hiding a lot of things in regards to what her life is outside of her online presence. Ida has issues with Johnny because of what led to not only them breaking up, but also their friendship going to hell. Joe's a workaholic who could have had something going on with Cameron, but being that she was the first in her family to go to college, her focus was just on school, and unfortunately that translated to her work where she decided to put everything into her clients and give nothing to herself. And Cameron as an individual has his own issues because he was going to become a athlete in a professional sense, but then he tore his ACL, so now he's kind of just coasting at his... That's not fair to say. Right now, he's working at his parents' car dealership, and he might be good at it, but it's not something that's fulfilling to him. And between their personal issues, their secrets, their regrets, all of this in a cabin which they get stuck at for about 24 to 48 hours, it leads to a lot of overdue conversations and people being pushed out of their comfort zone so that there's the potential for them to have a true, genuine friendship that's strong outside of Nate pushing them all together. As a highlight, even though it's kind of a meek highlight, I want to say that this movie is definitely likable. It's not put on a pedestal, watch every year type of movie, but it's inoffensive, has a touch of diversity thanks to Ida being queer, and you have the jock, sorority girl, the jokester, and it also has, a little bit of emotional moments, but it doesn't have necessarily that character who has that something that really connects with you. At least I didn't feel that way. But I don't know. It's adequate. It's good. It's something that you can't really complain about much regarding its content. Now, on the flip side, I do have to admit, a part of me does get frustrated that when it comes to movies, especially that are black predominant, we don't get a lot of them that have just people dealing with their issues and stuff like that. And then in terms of like young people, like connect with each other, in terms of this year, the only movie, especially theatrical release I can think of that did that was The Blackening, and that was a horror comedy. And so when it comes to Christmas Revisited, it just makes me wish that when it came to the issues that they went deeper into them. In that, to be fair, you can only do but so much for a Christmas/holiday movie, especially when it's released on network TV. Well, not network TV. Network TV is like ABC, Fox, and all that, but cable television. So in many ways, I know it's more of a me thing and wishing that we got more opportunities to see actors in films like this rather than it's an issue with Christmas Revisited, but it's kind of that issue that any film, especially film that's starring people of color have, or even people who are in the minority, was LGBTQIA plus or what have you, in that because they're presenting something that's so rare, there's almost a tax on them because you have to get it right, you have to do so much. And I've probably spoken about this about many a movie that stars people of color or else queer folk, but it's still an issue that remains. we can have all the diversity that people could want in terms of being one of five, and it's a white person, a gay person, an Asian person, a black person, a Latino. But there's a very drastic difference from movies and shows like that to ones where it's just about one community, one ethnicity, one culture. And the gap between the two has yet to be bridged, since a lot of the times you have to lose part of yourselves to be part of this rainbow coalition. And it makes it so when you get movies like Christmas Revisited, you want it to be, I know black is not a monolith, but at the same time you want it to be very much black experience, at least it's in terms of what the characters can give based off of where they come from. And on top of that, you want it to be an experience that feels very much developed in a way that the talent of the actors, the writers, the directors, everyone involved is undeniable. But a lot of the time what you get is something that is good enough. And I guess in many ways, like the whole work twice as hard thing, you keep thinking to yourself, that's not just an issue that I'm putting on myself in order to get somewhere, but I'm also expecting of other people in order to, I don't know, get the best that there can be. It's, again, not an issue with Christmas Revisited as much as it is just an issue with the lack of not diversity, just the lack of options. But that tangent aside, Christmas Revisited, while it does remind you of the limitations that holidays movies have, it's still very much enjoyable. And while I wouldn't say it's something that you would put in your holiday rotation, it's at least worth seeing once.